Dave,
that is funny as
we
hell.
got a query about the new buzzword out there is alt anything, like alt right, alt left, alt alternative,
yes.
the alternative. And I got to tell you, it's driving me up the wall. Now, as it turns out, evidently, I would identify with this alt-right. But you've actually spent a little bit of time looking into this. Please educate everybody what the latest buzzword in politics is all about.
The alt-right obviously exploded after Donald Trump's, leading up to the election and after Donald Trump's election, that the alt-right was a big part of his success formula for getting elected. So, yet, I talked to a lot of people who, I really don't know what that means. Let me see if I can explain what the alt-right is. If you would typically consider yourself a Republican, but because of the way the establishment Republicans have been conducting themselves for the last 10 or 20 years, you say, I just can't, I'm just not down with them anymore. I can't. So,
by the way, I have to say, I'm glad Reince Priebus took the job as the, whatever it is, chief of staff.
Yeah.
I think he'll do a great job at that.
I think he will too.
And on top of that, he'll no longer be chair of the RNC. And I like that as well.
Right.
Go
It'll
ahead.
be interesting to see who takes two steps in. So the alt-right is made up of a number of constituent groups. By constituents, I mean they have different issues, which is a really interesting thing because there's no one salient point, and oftentimes somebody who supports point 7 could care less about 1 through 6 because they have their issues. So their issues, things like they're against the Federal Reserve. They want to go back to the gold standard. They are
Common Core.
They're against Common Core. They're against imperialism and empire building. They're against
federal overreach,
limitless war. They're against domestic spying. Okay, all these things, right? So, and sometimes, it's like, okay, I'm against domestic spying, but I don't care about any of those other ones I just mentioned. So it's a fairly fragmented group. The problem is that one of the most vocal groups, and I would say probably the largest segment, now, by all means, it's a minority because we've got all these topics, right? But as a singular element, one of the largest groups are the groups that are comprised of bigots. Okay, you might have seen the video that was up a couple days after Trump won the election. This guy, Spencer, he was the one who coined the phrase alt-right, okay? And
if that's the case, I want to punch him in the face just for that.
And he was standing up behind the podium at some place in D.C. where you put on these presentations, and
the Watergate Hotel,
something like that. And it's like it's not the Washington Press Club, but something akin to that.
Okay.
And he's standing up at the podium, and there's hundreds and hundreds of people out in the audience, and he starts yelling, Heil Trump! Heil Trump! Heil Trump!
I did not see this.
And the audience, people are stepping forward, like standing up out of their seats and stepping forward towards the stage. Heil Trump! Heil Trump! Heil Trump! Okay. Now,
I did not see this.
Yeah, it's incredible. So the problem is, of course, that gets a lot of media attention.
Trump is part German, right? Okay, so I get it.
Yes. But the problem is there's this stench upon the alt-right of these bigots and racists. And the question really is, because obviously you take somebody who, say, is against the Federal Reserve System and think we should not be a part, we should not have a central bank, okay? That's got nothing to do with racism. It's got nothing to do with bigotry. Somebody who doesn't want domestic surveillance, that'd be me, okay? Same thing. Doesn't have anything to do with racism or bigotry. The big issue for anybody who has had a lot of support from the alt-right, as Trump has had, is how do you address those points that you might agree with or think are valid, while at the same time, since they were a significant portion of your support, tell the racists and the bigots, I don't want to have anything to do with you. And it's kind of like, I agree with some of the positions of the alt-right. Unfortunately, I would never say I'm part of the alt-right.
Because of those douchebags.
Because I refuse to be associated with any movement that has that component in it.